Hi Glamour Girls! We're going to read you another story. This story is called Charlie's Checklist. I hope you guys like it. Kylie's here and Paris is here. I hope you liked the other stories on your channel. So now we're going to put a third story on there. Yay! Okay, I'm going to put her down so I can get the book and show you the cover. Okay, this is the book that we're going to read today. Charlie's Checklist. Here's the back. Yay! Okay, so it's about a dog. Ooh, we love dogs, don't we? Here's the inside cover. Wonder what that's all about. Charlie was born in the countryside, but he had his heart set on living in a big city. When he was old enough to use the telephone and write with a black pen, he sent an ad to a London newspaper. The ad ran in the personal column. And this is what it said. 6-week-old puppy, young, naive, and irresistible, looking for suitably enthusiastic owner. Must be under 12 and wear glasses. Applicants, please send photo and references. Charlie sat and waited for replies. He was the smallest puppy in the litter and the last one out. All of his brothers and sisters had found owners already, and he was feeling lonely. He spent his days making daisy chains and sleepless nights counting sheep. But the sheep always fell asleep before Charlie did while he was counting them. Boy, oh boy, he was ready for a change. Look, here's all the dog bowls of all his brothers and sisters that already had owners. And there's Charlie's bowl right there, all by itself. And there's the sheep he counts. But they're all sleeping. Did you see? All the sheep are sleeping already, and he's still awake. Okay. Then one day, the envelopes started arriving. Small ones, long ones, thick ones, round ones. He had a stack of envelopes so high, he needed a trampoline to reach the letters at the top. He had so many replies to his ad that he had to hire an assistant to help him sort through the pile. He chose Chester from the farm next door. Chester had sneaked into the barn the night that Charlie was born. He had been his friend ever since and was eager to help out in any way he could. Between the two of them, they organized 2 piles of letters, no's and maybes. Wow, he's on a trampoline. And there's Chester, his best friend. And there's the boxes with letters that say no's and maybes. Charlie had a checklist of strict criteria. What is criteria? Asked Chester. A list of must-haves and must-be's, said Charlie. What about this one? Asked Chester. I'm Lou. I already have 2 dogs, 2 hamsters, 2 rabbits, 1 kitten, and 4 fish. I want you too. That's the letter. Charlie shook his head. Must have room for me. And then the other letter said, Hi, my interests are butterflies and beetles. I collect them in jars. I wear thick glasses and have big feet for stamping on ants. Charlie shook his head. Must be kind to animals. The next letter read, I'm Roger. I want to be in the circus. I need a partner to join me on my travels. How about it? Charlie shook his head. Must provide me with a stable home. You are hard to please, said Chester. There's the letters. Yep, each letter has a picture, but he kept shaking his head and saying no. He wants to find the perfect owner, doesn't he? Charlie felt the search would go on forever. At night, he and Chester counted the stars as they sat on top of the barn. They would laugh about the letters they had read that day, and sometimes they would play cards until the birds woke up singing. You don't see many stars in London, said Chester. Stars don't matter very much in big cities, said Charlie. There are so many other more exciting things to look at there, like cars, trucks, and tall buildings, and lots of different people. Oh, said Chester, I suppose you're right. Finally, after 2 weeks, Charlie opened up the letter of his dreams. Hi, my name is Naomi. I live on the 15th floor in a penthouse suite. I would love to look after you. I know we'll be the best of friends. I'll take you to all the museums and to the theater. I'll give you eggnog at Christmas and brush your coat till it shines. Be mine. Charlie ran in circles inside the barn after he read the letter. Then he ran outside and ran all around the barn and into the woods and around the trees. He was so excited. There's the letter of his dreams, and there's Naomi. Chester giggled when Charlie came back. He was covered in leaves and panting. Isn't she perfect? Cried Charlie. Chester looked a little sad. Yeah, Charlie, she seems great. So I guess you'll be leaving soon. Leaving? Said Charlie. Oh, so I will. I'll need to pack immediately. Will you help me, Chester? Chester agreed and walked back home to find a suitcase. Charlie couldn't understand why Chester was dragging his feet. Finally, thought Charlie, I'll have someone who wants me all to themselves. Someone who will love me forever. He decided to check through his checklist of criteria one more time before he called Naomi. He pulled out his page of must-haves and must-be's. Must have room for me. Charlie looked all around the barn and out into the woods beyond. He could see forever. Must be kind to animals. Charlie remembered the time that Chester pulled a stinging nettle from his nose. He had put a big pink Band-Aid on it and special first aid cream. Must provide with a stable home. Chester walked back into the barn then. He was carrying a suitcase and a pack of cards. I thought you could take these with you, he said. Maybe you and Naomi could stay up late some nights and play. Charlie now knew why Chester was dragging his feet. His tail dropped between his legs and he felt very silly, having overlooked his best friend of all. I think he's starting to think, hey, why didn't I think about Chester owning me? I think that's what he's thinking. I've been thinking, said Charlie. I'm not so sure dogs are allowed into museums or theaters in London, and I've heard that eggnog can really upset a dog's tummy. Chester's face turned all at once into a big, huge smile. Let's keep looking through the envelopes then, he said. Sunset that evening found Chester and Charlie on top of the barn. They were not sorting through envelopes. They were playing cards and starting to count the stars as they appeared in the sky. The envelopes kept coming for Charlie. So many that they filled up the whole barn, and Charlie had to move in with Chester. Every day, Charlie's checklist grew longer and longer. Must wear red and white striped overalls. Must be 4 feet 3 inches tall. Must like playing ball. Must have 5 freckles on each cheek. Chester lost track of Charlie's checklist, but Charlie never lost track of Chester. He chose Chester. Yay! Yay, that was an awesome ending, wasn't it? Yay! He got a doggy and he got a best friend, didn't he? Woohoo! But isn't that awesome? They each got their best friends, and that is just the best thing ever. He finally realized, hey, everything I've been looking for is right there in Chester. And then some, right? He had been there since the first day he was born. He had snuck into the barn and watched Charlie be born. So yes, he was the perfect person to own him, wasn't he? Woohoo! That's an awesome story. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that story, and I can't wait to read you another one. And don't forget, anytime that you miss us, just come to Grandma's Bedtime Stories, where every story will always be read with love. I love you, girls. Bye. Mwah.